People come from all walks of life. They all have lives they lead. Any and all are welcome here to come and chat with me.
Hi, everyone. Welcome to the show. Well, my guest has been on the show before. Matter of fact, a few times. I have to say that the very first time he came on the show was when we were doing them in person, and he brought me chocolate. Not just any chocolate, it was Purdy's, so he became my favorite. Back again, and I'm so pleased to welcome him. Green Party representative for the Chilliwack Hope area, Arthur Green. Welcome back to the show, Arthur.
Oh, thanks, Nancy. It's always a pleasure to be on your show.
Thank you. I get no chocolate doing this way. That's the only problem with Zoom.
Telecommunicate the chocolate.
Yeah. So unfortunately, this is kind of a sad situation right now, right? The elections come and gone, and the Green Party just didn't have good results at all. What happened? Like, what do you think happened?
It was a bit of a disaster, Nancy. Was it the worst in history? Well, definitely the worst in my history.
Okay.
The good part is I think we've hit rock bottom, so there's no other direction but up. I think we'll soon have a solution on the table in regards to our leadership debacle.
Oh, okay.
I've noticed some of what I'd consider some of our stronger contenders for leadership are starting to make noise and become more public. And we really do have some terrific leadership candidates on the horizon, like Dr. Courtney Howard, David Murner, and one-time Ontario Environment Minister Glenn Murray are just a few to name a few. So I think in the long run, we're going to be just fine. And contrary to public opinion, our bureaucracy within the party is strong. We're not going anywhere. Our greatest contention in the short term is restructuring ourselves from a devastating election result. Nationally, we lost over 800,000 votes. Obviously, it would be an understatement to say we're not connecting with voters when we're actually chasing them away. What we really need to do is rebuild ourselves, especially our EDAs. As David Murner noted as he traveled across Canada during the last leadership contest, that we have very few organized EDAs across the country. Not all of them are really that organized. Some behave more like community service organizations, and I think Chilliwack Kent kind of probably falls into that category. The ones that stick to finding candidates and raising money are the successful ones. And I know it's not easy to find dedicated volunteers to do those tedious and sometimes outright awkward volunteer positions. But this is the challenge, and to seek out those passive warrior types to take up the mantle, and we can build for the future. We've done that in the past. We can do that now, and we'll continue to do that in the future.
Right. What about your own position? Because you didn't have great results either, right? Personally.
Well, like I said earlier, it's definitely the nightmare result that makes me cringe to think that a fairly small community that I've lived in for 20 years, that only 3 people out of every 100 that I know voted for me. Thank goodness.
I was one.
Oh, thank you so much. I was just going to say, thank goodness for the mask mandate after the election. I kind of like to wear the mask. So my political goose is cooked, kind of done deal. But, Nancy, I never got into politics to become a politician, nor was I under the illusion that I was going to unseat anyone ever. My modus operandi was always been that of a climate activist. Always. And overall, Nancy, we've had some great success. We brought a lot of attention to the climate crisis in federal elections in 2015, 2019, and 21, as well as the last 2 provincial elections. So even though we never managed to get out our vote this time, I see great hope for the future. We have some great young and dynamic leaders on the rise. with new ideas and a real desire for a livable future.
Right.
This is the leadership that the local EDA has been longing for. Somebody who has a real stake in the future and somebody who will react accordingly to their house being on fire. And I would also like to let them know that I'll do whatever I can with my experience to help them out, but they need to start doing the groundwork and become part of the communities they desire to serve. And it is hard work, and it's canvassing, it's attending event and every Nancy guitar invitation.
I'm happy to have them on too.
Yeah, and your life becomes the world's. So this is the type of leader we long for and we need, and this is how we'll rebuild. Our future depends on it, pretty much.
Okay, so what message would you want to send out there to the constituents? Oh my God, I had trouble with the word. Those people who do the voting.
Yeah. Well, that's a really loaded question, Nancy. First of all, I'd like to apologize to all our supporters. We almost never even had a candidate. Earlier in the year, we couldn't get Ottawa to sign off on our nomination contest.
Oh.
We were at a standstill and all our candidates bailed, including myself. There was just so much uncertainty. And it was only a few weeks previous of the writ drop that I'd fallen off a ladder, cracking my skull, causing a brain bleed. I also broke my neck. I broke my back in 4 places. I broke my shoulder and 4 ribs. So needless to say, I wasn't planning to jumping in, no pun intended there, until Naomi Hunter, leader of the Saskatchewan Green Party, asked me to run. And, if I had said no, then Chilliwack Hope wouldn't even had a candidate. So I decided I needed to jump in. So I did, and it was a challenge. And we failed miserably. We lost 80% of our vote. It was devastating, not only to myself, but all those constituents that felt they could no longer support our movement. However, if I hadn't have stepped in, we'd have lost all of our vote. So, however, Nancy, we've put the last election behind us, and we've had new, young, and diverse Greens coming up through the ranks with new ideas and renewed energy. And the future is now, Nancy, and it's starting to look really good. We'll be back stronger than ever and sooner than later.
Glad to hear that. Yeah. I was just thinking about something you said, like you personally are concerned about the environment and whatever, climate change, all of these horrible things that we're facing. Have you ever considered connecting with people who do talk about those issues who are not currently political? Like with that?
I do that all the time, and we do that as a party all the time too. We've always been activists first, and so and we work across party lines. And it's frustrating sometimes to work with some of the denier type political parties that have the economy as their main agenda burner, and it's hard for them to relinquish those old ideas that, they've had this solid base of voters that's been keeping them in power for, forever, basically. It's hard to turn that off. So, but now it's becoming so obvious that even the conservatives, I've heard Andrew Scheer came out a year and a half ago and said climate change is real. Like, I couldn't believe it. It was, so. Yeah, the new conservative leader, Aaron O'Toole, he's more of a climate activist, but unfortunately his party is, he's butting heads with his party when it comes to climate activism and some of those environmental and social issues. So, but yeah, absolutely, we work across party lines. We work with, all the NGO groups that, Stand First and all the different groups. So yeah, we're activists first, for sure.
Very good, very good. Well, I'm glad that you're saying that, as you said, you're at the bottom, so you can't go any lower. You're only can go up, and you've got some young people coming up and getting interested. All of that is really, really good. Now, how would anybody, like, if they want to contact you or somebody in the party, where would they go? What would they do?
Well, they can. We do have an EDA in Chilliwack Hope. I don't know exactly what offhand what the email address is or the phone numbers, but I'm sure if you Google the Chilliwack Hope EDA, you can get that contact information. Or any of your listeners, if they would like to get in contact with me, they can do so at artgreen33@gmail.com, or my phone number, which is listed as 604-795-1524. And
say that again, 604-795-1524.
That's it. Yes.
Okay, I'll make sure that's included.
Okay.
That was your email as well. And of course, you're on Facebook as well, of course.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
So, okay, well, thank you. I really hope you get more support. And yeah, because like, I don't understand how people vote. I really don't. It's always been beyond me, you know. We just, in my mind, it's like swinging from this party to that party. Next time it's that party to this party. Like,
right.
It's just that back and forth thing that to me makes no sense at all.
Right. And this is another reason why the Greens have always, like, electoral reform is one of our main agenda items, is the fact that, you know, we believe that we need a new electoral agenda. We, you know, this first past the post system that we have now, all it does is lead us into nowhere. We, you know, one party takes us down one road, the other party gets in, they take us down another road, and they cancel everything the other guy done. And there's never any consensus. We definitely need a system of proportional representation in Canada. It's probably even more important than the climate crisis itself, because we're never going to get anywhere with the climate agenda until we start working together, you know, instead of butting heads all the time.
Yeah. Now, on that note, we're going to end the show, but just stay on camera while I say goodbye to the audience. And everybody, I hope you listen to Arthur Green's message. It is important, and contact him if you want to find out more, if you want to be a supporter. He'll be happy to hear from you, and anybody in the Green Party would be happy as well. So thanks for watching, and take care, everybody. And don't forget to subscribe to the show, and peace out. Oh, and I always accept chocolate. On that note, bye.
A sense of community, Chilliwack's a place to be. A sense of community where you're free. Rolling through the mountains, rolling through the valley, rolling through paradise with me. It's multicultural, you're sure to see it all. Chilliwack's the place to be, you'll see. Come party in the park, go dancing after dark. Chilliwack's a place to be, you'll see.